Hello fellow truckers, welcome to the channel Truck It Prowl. So I'm going to go through a load of tips that I've got for you guys about how to keep yourself entertained whilst out on the road. If you're a new driver, this is definitely going to be very helpful for you, because doing this job you can get very lonely and you do need things to help you pass the time, especially if you're on a long drive in a straight line. So let's get ready. Most important thing for me as a HGV driver is to have a pair of these. That is some wireless earbuds. Now I only put one in at a time so I can actually hear what's going on around me, but for listening to audio books, music, all that sort of stuff, absolute lifesaver. It's quite an obvious one, most people are already doing this, but yeah, audiobooks can be a life changer. Not only can you educate yourself, but you can also become a master at many different things. Languages, you name it, the world is your oyster. There's so much that I have learned from listening to audiobooks and podcasts, so that is probably definitely in the top 5 of my tips of how to keep yourself entertained on the road. Now, the one good thing about podcasts and audiobooks is that there's such a mass variety of podcasts and audiobooks. You can do anything from comedy, education, sci-fi, you name it, science, space, whatever takes your fancy, there's a book or there's an audiobook for you. Now, as a HGV driver, we spend a lot of time waiting around at yards and depots. So a good thing for you would possibly be downloading some films on your phone. Bring a tablet with you, bring a laptop with you, but do make sure that you are not watching videos whilst driving, because that's very illegal, and if you get caught you will lose your license and you're an idiot. Now, something that's definitely helped me through the years with this job is basically having a network of friends and family that I can call on a regular basis throughout the day. That really does help you pass a lot of time. You can end up being on a phone call for hours and not even realize how quick that time's gone. So yeah, obviously make sure that you're all connected up to the lorry and it's all hands-free, but staying connected, making sure that you are staying connected with your friends and family is definitely an important one. Now, also with that said, one of the most entertaining things you can do in this job is sleep. Yes, that's right. We have a bed. Make the most of it. When you get to a job, pull up, have half hour, revive yourself. There's not many jobs where you get to do that, huh? So that's definitely a good one. I do want to say as well, if you are into podcasts and audiobooks, just make sure you're picking something that's gonna keep you alert and awake, because I've done it before. I'm very interested in space, science, aliens, and I listened to a book about nuclear fusion, and my god, it was interesting, but there's so in-depth, so much that I struggled to keep my eyes open, so I had to change over to something a bit more entertaining, some comedy, something a bit light-hearted, and yeah, makes you just sort of not have to work so hard thinking about things, if that makes sense. So yeah, just make sure you don't pick anything that's gonna send you to sleep. Like, I wouldn't recommend a yoga audiobook or something like that. I don't know if that's even a thing, but yeah, you know what I mean. Now, according to statistics, Falling asleep at the wheel is one of the biggest causes of accidents in the UK. Now, do you want to be one of those statistics? I'm guessing not. So what can you do to prevent this? Well, there's the obvious things, and then there's the not so obvious things. So let me get started by telling you the obvious things. Now, the most obvious thing, obviously, is getting enough sleep. Now, if you've been in the industry a while, then you'll know as a HGV driver, getting sleep is not something that comes quite naturally to us. We do tend to have different start times, so it's hard to keep up a consistent sleep pattern. Sometimes you might be starting at 3 in the morning, sometimes you might be starting at 6 in the morning. Now, it is your responsibility to make sure that you are getting enough sleep, and it's recommended that you get 8 hours of sleep. A lot of people try to run on 6 hours of sleep or less, believe it or not. And I've spoken to many of my friends and done a little survey of this and found that to be very true, that 6 hours is the average amount of sleep that most of them are getting. And I'm not going to name them because they should be getting more. Now, when I had my children, the first 6 months of their life was probably the hardest 6 months of my life in terms of sleep. I was getting probably around 4 to 6 hours of sleep, and I just couldn't function properly. I was trying to catch little cat naps here and there at work, but the work I was doing at the time didn't really allow me to get much sleep while I was at work. So I was constantly running on empty. That has since changed. My children are not as bad. They have grown up a little bit and they do tend to sleep about 12 hours now, which is lovely. Sometimes you still wish they'd sleep a little bit more, but that's a different story. Now, another thing that's obvious to a lot of people, but not to everyone, is your diet. Now, being HGV drivers, we tend to eat a lot of crap. And this is not really our fault, I would say. I mean, obviously you are an adult and you can control what you eat, when you eat, but the industry as it is as a whole, in terms of services and places to eat, doesn't really cater for the healthy lifestyle, let's put it that way. Every services you go to is full of fast food chains, and there's rarely a healthy option. And if there is a healthy option, you're probably paying twice as much as it would cost you to go to one of those fast food places. So your brain automatically tells you, why would I pay double the amount for something that I don't really like that's healthy, when I could pay half the price for something that I really enjoy, that's got all those goodnesses in sugars and salts and everything that our body craves, for half the price? It's a bit of a no-brainer, really, isn't it? Well, it shouldn't be, but unfortunately that is how our brains work. I can't stress to you enough the importance of diet in this industry. Now, you'll see it out on the road, and you might be one of these people yourself. I'm not exactly a picture of health at the moment myself, but I have been there, I have done it, and I will be getting back into it as and when I can. The problem is, we just tend to eat out of boredom. Now, I went on a diet probably a few years ago now, where I was eating pure raw foods, no sugar, no salt, no anything, and I lost a hell of a lot of weight. But I'm going to be honest with you, it wasn't going to last. I was miserable. There's no way you can keep up eating just pure healthy foods all the time. So we need balance. We need to make sure that we're treating ourselves as little as possible, but making sure that we're still not craving those treats. So it's all about getting that right balance. If you can eat healthy 90% of the time and then treat yourself once a week to something fatty and greasy, then do so. But you've just got to make sure that you are eating more good than you are bad, because we do sit around doing absolutely jaffle all day. So it's so important that you eat. So I hear you saying, well, why would I listen to you? You're just a truck driver, you're not a nutritionist or anything like that. And you're right, I have no qualifications to tell you what you should and shouldn't be eating, but I do have common sense and I do understand the basics of eating healthy and not eating healthy. And I'm going to be doing a program where I'm going to follow it to the T and show you the results step by step on my journey. So if this is something you are interested in, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe and follow the journey, because not only am I going to be doing a health plan in terms of food, I'm going to log my food and let you in on what I'm going to be eating, when I'm eating it, why I'm eating it, and I'm also going to be going to the gym very shortly. It's just about getting into that routine and keeping that routine, making it a lifestyle rather than a diet, because diets don't work. Anyone's ever done a diet, they'll be able to tell you that diets don't work. It's about changing your habits, and it's easier said than done. It's not something that you'll be able to change overnight, but if you work it into your life gradually and make those little changes, you'll find yourself not feeling so tired and not falling asleep at the wheel. Tuning into this video, guys, I hope you found the content informative and enjoyable. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more engaging videos. Remember to turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Until next time, keep on trucking, and I'll see you soon.